Hey guys, Lewin here at GarageBand and Beyond. Welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about some advanced features that GarageBand has. Everybody who has GarageBand 11, you guys can all do this. Every version of GarageBand that comes out now can also do it. So this is something that is unbelievably powerful that a lot of people don't know that GarageBand can do. And what I'm talking about is specifically flex time editing, meaning that you can move parts around. So in this case, what I'm going to use as an example is a song that I'm mixing for a friend of mine from Vermont. And here's the last little section of the song. So just listen to this for a second. Let's hear it one more time. Right? So it's just whatever, the last, few notes there. Um, Obviously, it would be a little bit better and sound a little bit more professional if everybody was hitting those things on exactly the same point, right? So I wanted to talk about and show you how to do that today. So let's get right into it. So we're going to be looking and using the kick drum track, which is the top one right here. This is going to be what we use as the guide, really. So I come down here, open up the editor so I can see the waveform. Now, this is the kick drum right here that we're looking for, this one right here. So I want to zoom in just a little bit more, and I'm going to be looking for this peak right here, wherever it's peaking. Actually, let me get it off the grid, and there we go. So now this is the peak. So this is really the point that you're going to be using to match everything up. Now, as I click down and switch channels, you'll see that not very many things are actually on that line, right? Some things are in front, some things are way behind it, right? But this right here, the kick drum, this is what we want. So let's start moving parts. So on the overhead, first thing we want is to clean up that edit a little bit so we have a nice empty space in front of it. And so here's the waveform that we want to do. I need to grab the very, very front end of this. And I'm using the cursor that's here now, the red line. I'm going to use that as my guide. Since, rember, it's sitting exactly on top of the kick drum right here. So the first thing we want to move is this little thing. So I'm just going to reach in, actually zoom in. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to grab the very front of that waveform. Now you can see it changed to like a pinkish color, and I also get this thing right here. And then I can move that forward, right? Or to the left. So we'll go down, and I'll do it on another one. Now you can see this one actually already has a flex time marker on it. And obviously there's an issue with this beat right here. So we might want to just do something like that. And then we'll grab the front end of this and line it up again with that. And we're just going to do the same thing. This one's already looking pretty good. That one looks kind of okay. Let's just keep going down. So it's probably this bit right here is what we probably want. Let's listen to this for a second. You're gonna get to watch me work. Yeah, that is the bit we want. So let me get out of that. Here. And let me find, so now I have to go back up and get my reference point again, which is this guy right here. Sorry, this is boring to watch, I'm sure. But maybe you're experiencing something new on my channel. Here we go. Here's one that needs to be moved back. This needs to be moved back. And, when you're doing this, it's not, yes, it's an exact science, but there is sort of, you have some leeway, You don't want it to sound too computerized, so don't feel like you have to be totally exactly on time. There are definitely moments where it's better, less is more kind of a thing. Now this little thing right here is actually like a mistake that the guitar player had. So what I'll probably do here is I might even just go in and cut it out, just because it was like a little guitar error. So I'll just do a little Command T just to split the track, and then I can scroll that back like that. So let's keep going down. Here's another one that needs to be moved. Just click on the front end of it, bam, and then do that again. Oh, no, that's right. And Yeah, good. I'm still on the beat there. Yeah, I moved it a little bit. It's a little off now. So anyway, let's sort of go down the row here. Here's one that needs to be moved. Let's grab that, pull that over. Right, so there's, you can already hear the very first beat is a lot more tight. Right. So let me just do one more for you. I'll just do the last one. Obviously, they all need a little attention. But let me show you, just grab the last one so you can see how cool this thing really does work. So again, here's the kick drum part, and I'm going to use this as the guide. Go down and see what needs to be moved. Anything that needs to be moved, I just click right on the front end of it, and then I'm able to pull the waveform to the left or wherever I want it. Like here, this guy's a little too far in advanced. And remember, this is, you know, depending on where you are in the beat, it could be the drummer's fault, it could be the guitar player's fault. It is important to, you know, make sure you listen to the tracks individually and try to identify the player that, you know, was off. I know in this particular case that it wasn't the drummer, or that the drummer played solidly. Oh, and here's a good thing. So when you have a waveform like this, where you can see that it's a curve, so there's not like really a definitive front end of it, you're really looking for the peak of it, you know? This is, what channel is this? Let me see. Right? So it's a guitar track, but you can hear like in that performance, there was like a little bit of maybe like a finger hitting a string noise or something. So something happened before a string got moving. So what I'm going to look for when I'm trying to match this up to this kick drum bit, in that roundish waveform, I really look for the peak. Meaning that the front end isn't necessarily the very beginning of the tone. I mean, it's the beginning of a sound, but not necessarily what you're trying to line up. So in this case, I'm probably going to try to push it, you know, a little bit before the major peak. That way it shouldn't sound too unnatural. Same thing here. This is probably a little bit, you could probably push it like that. Okay, so now we're just going to listen to the last beat and see how much tighter it is. Okay, so it sounded like, now I'm actually kind of glad it happened. Right? Okay, so something that's on the left, it's this guitar, right? So look at this. This is what happened. So I stretched it out a little bit too much. So as you can see, and this happens sometimes. So I grabbed a slightly wrong part of the waveform. Now, one thing you can do to, you know, fix this problem is, well, first let's get our guide back to where we want it to be, more or less, right around there. I think, nope, right around here. This video stinks. I'm sorry, you guys. This is one of those things where you sort of get to sit and watch the engineer work a little bit, and you learn a lot from it, I hope. So let's listen one time. Okay, so here's the one we need. It's the one on the left here. So again, so what I would do probably is I'd probably try to pull this back together where it all looks like it more or less was originally. And you can usually tell where that is when it all gets back to normal color. So one thing you can do here is grab the very, very, very front of it, and just because there's apparently some information in there that we need. So what I'll do, come on, come back to me. There it is. So I'll push this guy out again to where I want it, and then I'll grab this bit, because this stuff down here was that weird sound. So we'll just try to ram it up to the front and see what that sounds like. Better, see? So that's a pretty common mistake, and it happens to me all the time. Like, it helps to zoom in to see the waveform. That way you can grab everything that you need to grab. In this case, I didn't have it zoomed in all the way. So, but for the sake of, you know, demonstration. So anyway, you know, GarageBand is super powerful. People ask me all the time, why am I still on GarageBand, and why don't I use Logic and Pro Tools? And the reality is I have used and do occasionally use Pro Tools and Logic, but GarageBand does everything I needed to do. The sample rates are the same. I have plugins and stuff, and it does everything that I want it to do. And this is exactly a great example of the real power of GarageBand. And the editing capabilities of it. And this is the kind of stuff that you can do to make your performances sound more tight with your band, or if it's with yourself and, there's a little flub here or there, you can move anything. You can move guitar parts, drum parts, bass parts, vocals, um, all sorts of possibilities with this editor. So that's it, you guys. I really hope this didn't bore you to death and was a lot more educational than it's seeming like it might have been in my head right now. So anyway, have a great day. Please subscribe to my channel. Oh, and don't forget, I have a mailing list over on the GaragebandandBeyond.com website, which, I'm going to be doing contests all the time. And all you have to do is be on that website. Or on that mailing list, That's what I'm talking about. Go sign the mailing list on the website. Bye, guys. Bye.